And you talked about being knocked out of their stride. It looks as though they are just somewhat rattled by this very aggressive, motivated New Zealand start. And here's a chance for Osman. Oh, Talo more or less sat on the ball. Doesn't matter, I suppose, if it's effective. Ragomo.
Yeah, no shortage of motivation for the Futsal Whites. 9 games without a win.
Oh, and that's hit the crossbar. What a shot from Mikalia Lafa.
And targeting this one is a must-win. So good signs there for New Zealand, but again, some pressure from Solomon. Leah Lafa, always a danger. One of the standouts for Solomons at the World Cup last year. Scored an incredible goal against Colombia.
Jakob Sincora. That's an interesting ball.
Yeah, it's a great ball, isn't it? Here's Leah Lafa again. Can they break quickly?
Kareem Osman. He's given that straight to Ragomo. Ragomo still goes with a toe poke.
Great save, Elian. I don't know if he knew much about it.
Atta Reliant with the save. No, I guess up against an opponent who toe pokes it with power and speed and pace. Anything will do in terms of getting something in front of it as a goalkeeper. Solomon's starting to break the shackles a little bit. Whitney manages to pull the ball clear. It's 3 against 2 for the Solomons. Ragomo off the line by Burns. Leah Lafa. Burns again. Sincora on the break. Eakins. Oh, and Eakins. Good save. That might well have taken a touch off Anthony Talo, but it's been interpreted as hitting the post.
Big load for Burham. He's back into the game.
Jack Whitney.
He's a classy player, Burham. Scott Gilligan, a big fan of his defensive qualities as well.
Daniel Burns. Ragood. Eakins.
Good ball from
Barham.
Eakins.
Chance for Daniel Burns. Saved by Talo. Burns went high. It probably needed to be hit across Talo to his right and low.
Nice work again from New Zealand. Really growing with confidence now after a difficult weekend and a difficult sort of 6 months, really. But they've got their tails up, and if they can make it 2.
Ragood. Oh, good save by Talo.
Solomon won't want to concede again.
Tayan. Burns. Ragood. Ragood taken down. Helped to his feet by his teammate Burns.
5 fouls now for Solomon. Scott Gilligan.
Yes, he just took a knock from James Ageta.
Scott Gilligan, of course, technical advisor for the Solomon Islands in 2008 when they went to the World Cup in Brazil. So he's well acquainted with this side, knows all of these guys well, has worked with them extensively, and looks like he's stitched a bit of a game plan together to upset them. And as it stands with 3 minutes 40 on the clock, looking at Scott now going through tactics with his side. They're on top, and they're looking promising. They look like they could score again, and Solomons will want to regroup and try and get back to that opening couple of minutes where they were playing well, really playing New Zealand off the court, but got to hand it to New Zealand, Gordon. It's been a difficult period for them the last few months, and they've regrouped really well. They're determined, and well, be hard to call from here.
Well, there is Dave Payne, the New Zealand football futsal aficionado. Certainly done a fantastic job. Fantastic job with developing this version of football in New Zealand.
No surprise to see a big smile on his face at the 1-0, Gordon.
No, not at all. It's a lead well deserved. Also, but there's plenty of futsal to be played yet. The Futsal Whites asking questions of the Solomon Kurukuru. Ty Barham runs over the top. Marvin Eakins. Burns. Oh, that was not too far away. If Burns' pass had been able to find Barham, there was a chance there.
Good work from Whitney there under pressure.
Lea Alafa. Lea Alafa again.
Great work from Igata.
James Igeta, and that's a good ball. Lea Alafa. Well, both players go to ground. No infringement spotted. Here's Vincent Basili. Good defending from Daniel Burns. Oh, that was a well-worked set piece too. Eakins. Barham. Whitney. Whitney's pass intercepted by Daniel Burns. He's having a good game for New Zealand. Burns. Mika Lea Alafa. Just running out of court space. Well, it would be a psychological barrier broken through by the Futsal Whites if they were to finish on top here against the Solomon Islands. Rigomo, that's a good ball for Lea Alafa. Shots wide.
Yeah, and he had Basili ranging up on the left there, but he couldn't pull it across. Relief for New Zealand. There's just 2 minutes left on the clock in the first half. Here's Manikim, can he turn? Great ball into Burns.
Burns shot straight at the keeper though. There was nobody in support of Daniel Burns either.
Just that lack of a left foot for the second time for Burns. But an excellent effort for New Zealand in front of a growing audience here. Good crowd in.
Eakins concedes a corner. Rigomo. Still Rigomo. Ragud doing the defending for his country. Vincent Basili. Rigomo. Whitney. Still Whitney on Ragud. Well, how did you see that, Paul?
I'd need to see the replay. I thought he got the ball, but he's given a card against Whitney. No, well, what do you think, Gordon? Foul?
Well, I think Ragud actually may have been the guilty party.
Yeah, he may have been quite lucky there, looking at that again. And Whitney with a yellow card to boot. Bit unfortunate. But anyway, New Zealand just riding their luck there and heading towards half-time, 1-0 up.
Eakins flipped into Manikim. That's a good turn. Oh, Manicum, he's stolen the ball through the legs and it's 2-0. A defensive disaster for the Solomon Islands. Dylan Manicum grabs his second and the Futsal White second. They lead the Solomons 2-0. Look at this, great steal by Manicum. Just Talo to beat and goes through the legs of the goalkeeper.
And it's a feature of Lea Lafa's game. We saw it in the World Cup. We saw it in Spain when they toured there last year. Loves to take players on from any area of the pitch. Now and again he'll lose it, and he's paid a very heavy price, or his team have at least.
Solomons 0, New Zealand 2. If you've just tuned into this on Summit Sports, Channel 14 and OFC TV. Mika Lea Lafa, Jack Whitney. Good defending by Ragud for New Zealand. Ragomo's shot is blocked. Daniel Burns. Switch of play. Manicum for the third. Hat-trick for Dylan Manicum. And the Futsal Whites lead by 3-0. Extraordinary moment for Dylan Manicum.
Great finish, Gordon, and he's on fire. He's had a real lean spell after bursting out of the blocks a couple of years ago for the Futsal Whites. He hasn't scored a lot recently, but beautiful finish there from Manicum, and it's a long way back now for Solomons, but we'll see. We go to half-time, pretty much 9-10 seconds away, but a lot of thinking to do in that Solomons camp.
Well, they've been in this position before. The Solomon Islands, as Ragud breaks clear. What a scoreline. Scott Gilligan's happy. The New Zealanders are happy, and the Solomon Islands are shell-shocked. And here's why. Good save from Anthony Talo.
Yeah, Burham misses his shot there, but he gets it away. Is it Burns on the far side? Can't quite make that out, but Manicum's there anyway to apply the finishing touch.
Burham recovered from his initial mishit, but
yeah.
Dylan Manicum
so quick to the ball.
Sniffing around.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he?
One 0 to New Zealand. Look at the faces of those players. Tells its own story. James Ageta taking on Osman, and the shot was high and wide. This one hit the crossbar.
It's Lea Lafa again. Terrific driving shot there. Ooh,
not far away at all.
A lion beaten. Burns does well, doesn't he?
Hooking it off the line. It was that type of half for New Zealand. Lea Lafa cost the Solomons.
It's a cool finish as he rolls it onto his left peg.
Nightmare for Lea Lafa. Not much fun either for Anthony Talo, but Dylan Manicum says thank you very much. So at half-time in match 4 of the 2013 OFC Futsal Championships from Trust Arena in Henderson, it's the Solomon Islands 0, New Zealand 3, and Dylan Manicum with a hat-trick. So rejoin us in 6 minutes time or so for the second half of this game. Until then, we'll bid you a short farewell and see you back here very soon. Welcome back to Trust Arena in Henderson, Auckland, New Zealand for the second half of match 4 on match day 1 of the OFC Futsal Championships. And what a scoreline. Solomon Islands 0, New Zealand 3. And just talking to my colleague Paul Tui at half-time, we're fairly certain that New Zealand have never before beaten the Solomon Islands in this form of football. And it's a psychological barrier that could be breached tonight, masterminded by that man in your picture, Scott Gilligan, who of course has some previous with futsal in the Solomon Islands. He was part of the Kurukuru campaign at the FIFA Futsal World Cup in Brazil in 2008. And he had something to do with the Tahitians as well as they emerged on the futsal front in the Pacific. Well, now he's in charge of New Zealand, and judging by the scoreline, the impact that he's having is certainly taking the Futsal Whites into rarefied territory. Manikim, who's got a hat-trick to his name. James Vaughan, Eakins. The question will be, can the Solomon Islands come back? They've pulled off a few Houdini acts in their time. They're going to have to produce one here tonight. Anthony Talo, Elliot Rigomo, Daniel Burns, just happy to clear the danger. Jack Whitney, Elliot Rigomo, James Egata, Whitney again, Egata to the skipper Rigomo. Whitney shaping to shoot, takes a deflection off Eakins.
Very disciplined New Zealand defence in the first half, Gordon, and
oh, and it's so close. It was Elliot Rigomo.
Early signs are they've come out well focused again. They've got James Vaughan on. Burns has a big role to play in this team, number 8. Gilligan's a big fan of James Vaughan, I know that for his defensive qualities. Eakins, of course, he's a real stalwart of the side, good leader. And Manikim, the star man who tonight has delivered, and it's overdue, it has to be said. Haven't been many goals from Manikim. He's promised a lot, but there's no bigger stage really than in front of a home crowd against the Kings of Oceania. And good on him, Dylan Manikim. A lovely hat-trick in the first half, but what can Solomons conjure up?
Mika Leo Lafa. Oh, it's game enough to have a shot from a tight angle. He couldn't quite lock it on target. New Zealand restart through Eakins. Whitney, Rigomo. Well, Whitney and Rigomo both burst onto the scene at roughly the same time in futsal. And they've become key figures in the Solomon Kurukuru lineup. Of course, we were talking earlier about the OFC Futsal Championship final between Tahiti and the Solomon Islands, and the Solomons trailed in that one 4-1.
They did. It was 3-1 at half-time, and they were under the cosh, and they came out and conceded early in the second half, but it was a magic little period of about 8 minutes where everything came together. Rigomo scored 4 times, Whitney scored twice. Whitney in particular was the magician on that occasion. But that was at the end of a sustained spell of training and playing. They've had the training, but this is their first game since November, and there's no substitute for match experience, and that's one thing that New Zealand have on their side. They may have had their problems and difficult games, but
well played by Eakins. Burns, number 4 for New Zealand, Dylan Manikim.
Just my feeling about Solomons at the moment, looking at the side that went to the World Cup, it's the same players, but it feels like a different team, Gordon. Great finish though. He pulled the ball from behind him, and great counter-attack. Again, that man at the back post. and a good ball over from Burns. But I don't think there's any way back for the Solomons here. This isn't like the final. I think New Zealand got their tails up, and they've really, really worked hard over the last year or so since Gilligan came in. I can't see how Solomons can get 4 or 5 goals here.
No, they need to get at least one before they can even think about a comeback. And with shots like that from Jack Whitney, you just fear for the Kurukuru that it's not going to be their night. Certainly for the Futsal Whites, it's looking very good. Ty Barham. Futsal Whites have a corner.
Miro Major into the game for the first time, number 5.
Here he is now. His shot deflecting off James Ageta for another corner. Ty Barham in no hurry to take it. He's found Daniel Burns. Miro Major. Manikim. 4 goals this evening. 4 goals for his country. Mika Lealafa. James Ageta. Lealafa again. Looking to take on Manikim. Good shape by the Futsal Whites. Rigomo. Ageta back to Rigomo. Whitney. Lealafa. Whitney again. Well defended by Dylan Manikim. Stayed upright on his feet. Showed good balance and then at the right time struck. Lealafa. Manikim showing him the outside and he's conceded a foul.
A lot of court time for Burns tonight, Gordon. Same with Manikim and Eakins.
Rigomo committed defending and Manikim, can he make it 5? Yes he can. He finishes with a flourish. And you can see what it means to the Futsal Whites. 5 goals for Manikim and 5 goals for New Zealand. The Solomon Islands have been blown off the court by this man, Dylan Manikim.
Great presence of mind for Manikim. You know, he's had 5 or 6 chances and he's pretty much buried them all. Great finish there.
Look at that. The Futsal Whites can barely contain themselves. And rightly so. Look at that scoreline. Solomon Islands 0, New Zealand 5. By contrast, Dixon Cutto's team look somewhat forlorn.
And a good chance for Scott Gilligan now just to bring his team down to earth. They need a good 15 minutes here. Solomons will still be dangerous. They could get 1 or 2 back and then it would be very interesting. But this is the moment that they've trained for. This, you know, taking the lead, 5 up now and incredible. I think there was a feeling around the place that Solomons were vulnerable going into the game tonight simply because they hadn't had any fixtures in the last 6 months. But I don't think New Zealand in their wildest dreams would have thought they could have been 5 up like this. And maybe Dylan Manikim writing himself into the history books, really. 5 goals, just unbelievable.
Yes, 5 goals for Manikim, a 5-star show, both personally for him and for the Futsal Whites. Quite incredible, and it's going to send a shockwave through this tournament.
In many ways, the best thing that could happen for the tournament, you know, on the local scene as New Zealand football try to build the profile of futsal. What better reason to come back tomorrow night for the Malaysia game, Gordon?
That's right. There are 4 more games tomorrow. Solomon Islands against New Caledonia at 2 p.m. local New Zealand time. Tahiti against the New Zealand Invitational side 2 hours later. And then Australia take on Vanuatu at 6 p.m. And Malaysia up against the Futsal Whites at 8 p.m. That should be a cracker. And if you're in Auckland and you're keen to see some live futsal action, Malaysia versus New Zealand would be a splendid game to absorb. Manikum. Major, that's a clever ball. Manikum, oh, and it was just out of reach of Ty Barham.
By his standards, a poor finish.
Certainly tonight, by his high standards, it's a poor finish. You say that somewhat facetiously. He's had an incredible evening.
What a game, unbelievable. But, you know, credit where it's due. New Zealand have worked really hard since Scott Gilligan came in. I know it's difficult. It's difficult for them with players widely spread around the country. They don't get many training camps, but when they do, they put everything they've got into it. And I know how passionate these guys are. And, well, no one would have said it would have been 5-0. But it is, and credit to them. A great job so far anyway. And they've just got to see out this final 15 minutes. And who knows, they might even add to that tally. You wouldn't rule it out at this stage.
Major knocking it long. He didn't really have much of a choice, in all honesty. All the short options were taken up. Oh, Whitney, he was in a good position, but just couldn't get the ball out of his feet. Ty Barham tries to work it back to Miramajah, so one or two creaks starting to come into this Futsal White's performance. Rigomo, Ty Barham, too good for Rigomo this time. Osafello. Osafello again. Osafello's shot deflects off Mickey Malivuk. Jack Whitney. Osafello. Here's Eakins. Ty Barham. Malivuk. That's a good ball by Malivuk. Barham's pass is a good one as well. Rigomo read Manikum.
New Zealand really quick to get organised again. It's been a feature tonight.
Oh, that's a great throw. Malivuk's first touch. Not the best, but he's battled hard to win the ball back. Ragud for Malivuk. Takes a deflection, and Ragud's never going to make that, but he put enough pressure on Anthony Talo to concede the corner. Stunned. That is the word that sums up the Solomon Islands side so far. Vasili. Whitney. Taking on Malivuk. Vasili. Ragud clears the danger. Solomon's come straight back at the Futsal Whites through Osafello. Good defending, and now Elaine has set forth another attack. The game opening up as the Kurukuru go in search of a goal. Whitney. Vasili. Oh, and it's hit the underside of the crossbar and bounced out.
Great work from Vasili, bit unlucky there. Lined up the shot, and yeah, good fortune for New Zealand there. But Lion, he's done well in goal tonight for New Zealand.
Well read by Ragud. Well, coming out of cold storage, the Solomon Islands, it's not been their evening. Vincent Vasili's tried to play for a foul there. He's not earned one. Eakins. That's a good run by Manikum. Excellent run by Manikum. Here he is on the ball now. Oh, good ball by Malivuk. Anthony Talo with a save. He's not had much to cheer about, the Solomons keeper tonight, but that was a save that he'll draw quiet satisfaction from in the wash-up from this game. Chance. Whitney off the line. Dylan Manikim, he's all over the place.
Yeah, great work from Dylan Manikim to get back there. New Zealand throwing everything at it. Malivuk's been impressive tonight as well, Gordon. Big number 15.
Yes, I definitely agree with you there. He's a player that wouldn't be every futsal coach's dream in terms of technique, but he's shown a level of fitness and commitment here this evening that's been a big part of the Futsal Whites' performance so far. Still much to be done.
James Vaughan on now, good organiser, very good defensive player. Smart player. Kareem Osman too, and anywhere will do. Rosed from Mickey Malivuk. Just over 10 minutes left. It's there's no way back from the Solomons, but
no, they need something to break in their favour. They need.
They do. Basili's one had to go in a bit earlier, I think, for you know, but maybe it would have just been a consolation. I just feel New Zealand's hard work and endeavour, passion have really told the story tonight, and good on them. It's a dawn of a new era in many ways in Oceania. I think it's a sign that you know, many of the countries are now working. We looked at the earlier games. New Caledonia put in a terrific.
Oh, and a red card shown. Jack Whitney.
So down to 3, and maybe New Zealand will go to the power play here with the flying keeper, or maybe they won't risk it. They may just try and play out the 2 minutes with 4 outfield players.
That was the last thing that Coach Dixon Cato wanted to deal with, but he's going to have to. Solomon's trailing 5-0 and they're down a player. Scott Gilligan assessing his options. Kareem Osman is on for New Zealand. Eakins, James Vaughan and Mickey Malivuk, along with goalkeeper Atta Ilayan. So, what will the Kurukuru do to counter this numerical disadvantage? Osman for Eakins. James Vaughan. Osman. Plenty of space out there now for the home side. Osman just working this Solomon Islands 3 around as much as they can. Vaughan. Eakins back to Vaughan. Keen to keep possession every second without the ball for the Kurukuru.
Looking to find Malivuk. He's getting a bit frustrated in that pivot role. As the clock counts down.
Well, Anthony Talo, the goalkeeper, is keeping a close eye on Malivuk.
New Zealand won't mind that, so I think taking a fairly conservative approach to this situation. Solomon with 3 men in the outfield.
Stalemate in the absence of Jack Whitney as New Zealand play this advantage conservatively, and the Solomons getting to conserve some energy.
It's easy to defend at the moment, but New Zealand won't mind.
Malivuk.
Good work by Malivuk.
Oh, chance. Vaughan. Oh, and it's good piece of defending.
Yeah, George Stevenson gets a foot in there, but you know, that's that patient build-up of New Zealand there, rolling the ball around, biding their time, and then creating the opening. Good work from Mickey Malivuk, and James Vaughan couldn't quite finish it off, but good effort there from the Kiwis.
Malivuk. James Vaughan rotates in. Eakins. Now he jogs forward. The numerical disadvantage is over. There is parity, both teams with 4 outfielders.
Yeah, well done, Solomon Islands. Defended the numerical disadvantage well.
Well, they now have to contend with the mathematical disadvantage. They trail New Zealand by 5-0. 5 goals to Dylan Manicum. And in truth, they haven't looked like pulling one back. We had Lenson Baselli hitting the underside of the crossbar for the Solomons, but I can't remember a save that Ata Elayan has had to make. George Stevenson with a toe poke.
High and wide. No, they made a fantastic start, Gordon. That opening stanza from the Kuru Kuru, it looked like it was going to be business as usual, but they couldn't score. New Zealand soaked up the pressure. And
Lealafa, good defending from James Vaughan.
Yeah, that's terrific stuff from Vaughan.
Putting his body on the line. James Ageta. George Stevenson. Back with Eakins. Malivuk. Osman. Still Osman. He's got Vaughan at the far post.
Great ball.
Oh, what a goal!
And a well-deserved goal. James Vaughan, fantastic run. He puts in the work off the court, James Vaughan, and you know, looking at his defensive work down the other end of the court there, that in itself was something to behold. But to get down the other end and apply the finishing touches, that's why Gilligan loves him so much. I think is, you know, he hasn't had a lot of court time tonight, but worth his weight in gold. And 6-0, incredible. But yeah, a clinical effort from the New Zealanders. They knew what they had to do.
And they've executed it ruthlessly. Osman did ever so well to stay on his feet.
Yeah.
On that counter-attack. He did get hit.
Yep.
And he stayed upright. And James Vaughan had faith in his teammate that he would get the shot away, the cross, and he did. And Vaughan put the icing on the cake for the Futsal Whites. Talo with a header. Igeta. Away by Miro Major. Daniel Burns has won the kick in for New Zealand.
Sigcora goes into the pivot role. A little bit of a cameo.
Basili. Jeffrey Boulay makes an appearance for the Kurukuru. And that smacked of desperation from Mika Lealafa.
Good depth in this New Zealand side. I think, you know, in this situation, Gordon, he can go to his bench and bring in like for like. He's got Burns back in, who played a big role in the first half, had a big weekend against Australia. Ty Burham's in, and we know about his defensive capabilities. And Miro Major can just organise at the back now. 6 minutes left. Difficult to see Solomons even scoring.
Rigomo.
Nice by Rigomo. This is much better. But again, this is the defensive effort from Burham. Beautifully worked by the Solomons, but credit again to New Zealand. Burham anticipating. First to the ball.
Rigomo. Igeta. Lealafa. Boulay. Lealafa to his left. Picks him out. Now Rigomo. Boulay lobs it through, but an easy one for the keeper. Elian. Sincora. He got shoved. Jakob Sincora, it looked like, but the infringement is given the other way. Lealafa. Boulay. Sincora.
Haven't seen too much from Elliot Rigomo tonight, Gordon. Leolafa, some snatches of brilliance, but again, crucial giving away the ball, and for Manikim's second goal, just those little errors have really been costly.
Well, I watched the Solomon Islands training, and Elliot Rigomo was well bandaged up, and certainly he hasn't looked his usual self. There is perhaps a yard of pace missing now for the Solomon skipper. He's still an influential figure, there's no doubt about that, but tonight he and his teammates have been second best by some distance. Jeffrey Boulay, Rigomo over the top, and that perhaps sums up the evening from a Solomon's perspective.
Vaughan checks back in for the Futsal Whites. But yes, I guess we're looking at the biggest day really in New Zealand futsal history. 6-0 against the current OFC champions.
Here's Eakins. Talo's out of his goal. Talo manages to pull off the save. Yes, you're quite right. The clock counting down to a very special moment in futsal history for the home nation.
Great ball. Nice little 1-2 there, James Vaughan. And really no dip in the performance from New Zealand. You know, in many ways, just as good, and that perhaps even better in the second half. It's terrific professional effort from them.
Well, we're witnessing a shift in power in Oceania futsal. The Solomon Islands, 4 times OFC champions, 2 visits to FIFA Futsal World Cups, and they've really struggled like this against New Zealand. Tonight they've been taken apart.
Yeah, they've met 2 times previously, and in recent years it was 5-1.
Oh, and Anthony Talo hits the upright of his opposite number.
5-1, 2010 and 2011, 2008, and then in 2010, 7-3. But yeah, no one would have predicted this, but yeah, Talo is the flying goalkeeper. Well known for his goal scoring at the World Cup. But it'll be too little too late, 3 minutes on the clock and 6 down.
James Ageta. Mika Leolafa. Coleman Marco loses out to Ragu. Oh, and he's had a shot. Now there's been a late challenge.
From Sammy Osafello, was it?
Yes, it looks as though it was Osafello. Ragud is the player down. It looked pretty late to me. And Sammy Osafello is going to get a yellow card, and quite rightly under the circumstances. Just a hint of frustration. Look at that, it was a high knee right into the inside right leg of Ragud. I'm sure he's going to be all right. James Vaughan and Marvin Eakins help their teammate to his feet. He's already nursing a black eye, as you can see. Daniel Burns. Eakins. Vaughan. Burns. Well, Burns intended that ball for Vaughan, but his teammate had long since departed the scene. Good effort.
Yeah, nice little rollover from Leolafa, and that's that magic that he has, and the shot just pulled it wide. Nice there from Eakins as well. Just tiring a little, but just flipping the ball out.
Tired mind, tired execution. It just needed to be rolled in, didn't it?
It did.
Here's Ageta. Anthony Talo forward. New Zealand's defence standing strong. They lead 6-0. Leo Lafa's shot at the near post is deflected and it's scooped away by Eakins to safety. Igeta. Leo Lafa. Talo. Toe poked and well saved by Elian.
Yeah, disappointed with that shot straight out. But it'll be interesting to see the effect this result has on the Solomons. They've got New Caledonia at 2 o'clock tomorrow. You know, they'd still go into that one as favourites. So if they can turn it into a victory, then it's all on against Malaysia. Maybe a point or a win would be enough, and then it's, you know, they're back in the land of the living again. So it's not over yet for Solomon Islands. There may be more of a story to tell later in the tournament. Certainly it's been New Zealand's night, and this man Manikim,
well, there was a handful of shirt grabbed by James Igeta.
He's had an unbelievable night, and you wouldn't rule him out adding a sixth to
whom he says Igeta. Look at that, he had an armful of Dylan Manikim, who tried to stay on his feet. There was no chance of that. He was being hauled to the floor of the Trust Arena court. And he's earned a free kick for his troubles. Kareem Osman stands over the ball. Rigomo and Igeta are in a two-man wall. Jeffrey Boulay is just in front of Anthony Talo in the D. Ty Barham to the right of Osman, Burns and Malivuk on the posts. Oh, and it just goes wide of Malivuk. It's taken a deflection off a Solomon Islands player. So the pressure on the Kurukuru unrelenting. Good shot. Talo copes with it, only just. Well, New Zealand have handed out the Solomon Islands a futsal lesson this evening. Ty Barham, good save by Talo. Leo Lafa away from Malivuk. Malivuk does enough for Osman to come in and win the ball. It's 2 against 2. Talo, oh, and it's deflected into the back of the net. New Zealand have 7. And it's that man, Kareem Osman.
Yeah, great work from Osman. Talo did well to get out to it, but a bit of fortune on Osman's side, but he's done ever so well there.
Well, fortune favours the brave.
It sure does.
And it's been 7 of the best here for the Futsal Whites. We have exactly 1 minute of play to go, and there's only been one team in this, in truth. Goal for the Solomons. I spoke too soon. Sammy Osafello.
Yep, the trademark left peg of Sammy Osafello. Nice little break down the left and beautiful finish. So a small consolation for the Solomons, but it will have some meaning for them.
Certainly gives them something to build on for their next match with New Caledonia. But there haven't been too many positives to be drawn from this evening for them.
Nice work from Burns there. 44 seconds left on the clock.
The Solomon Islands have been the dominant force in Oceania futsal for the last 5 years. There have been few teams who have got close to them. And Mickey Malivuk has an opportunity to restore the 7-goal advantage. 5 fouls exceeded by the Solomon Islands, resulting in the 10-metre penalty. Chance for Malivuk to cap a fine individual performance among many. Shoots wide. Frustration for him. Talo with a quick restart. Jeffrey Boulay brings it down. Good shot by Boulay.
What a magnificent first touch from Boulay. Gosh, we've had some great goals tonight, but that's right up there. You know, still some glimpses of magic from the Kurukuru, but I could watch that one over and over again. The long throw, beautiful first touch and turn, and a lovely finish. Nice work from Boulay.
And something for the Solomon Islands community who have turned up in numbers for this game to celebrate. Well, 35 seconds to go. Solomon Islands 2, New Zealand 7. Lealafa, Boulay, Lealafa, all it needed was a final touch.
They've come alive, Gordon.
Well, with the situation appearing hopeless, you're quite right, they have come alive.
I reckon they could get 3 in the last 15 seconds.
I think you need to send for the ambulance if they did that. Might be just too much to bear, such as the excitement.
No.
The grandstand finish perhaps, but...
Yeah, but New Zealand can enjoy this last 15 seconds. It must be a great feeling for them after all the work that's gone in over the past 3 years, really, since futsal came in under New Zealand football. It's a great moment.
Lealafa, it's 3.
Great late flourish from the Solomons, but really something to really cherish for New Zealand football and for the futsal community that have worked so hard over the last few years, and yeah, definitely something to build on here, and in many ways a great result for the tournament. Hopefully the local public will get in behind the tournament, come along and watch the Malaysia game tomorrow, and I actually can't wait to watch the Solomons New Caledonia game tomorrow. I think that'll be special as well.
Kareem Osman. Less than a second to go. The clock is poised. It's over. The Futsal Whites have taken a step forward in the development of the sport in this country. They have beaten the Solomon Islands 7 goals to 3. And a real psychological boost. A barrier broken. And for the Solomon Islands, it's all down to their game with Malaysia tomorrow. But what a moment for the Futsal Whites. So let's reflect on an intriguing match. Dylan Manicum slots for the Futsal Whites.
That was his goal for the hat-trick, Gordon, wasn't it? And a terrific finish.
Yes, he certainly gave us a wide variety of quality finishes.
That was a cracker as well. Great ball from Eakins under pressure, and Burns with a beautiful delivery into the back post. Manicum with number 4.
Here is Manicum taking on Talo. And what a finish that was. Perhaps the best of the lot.
Could have been, I think so.
Talo had actually got his angles pretty well sewn up here.
Yeah, I thought he'd gone too far, but beautiful finish.
Power and swerve. Finesse.
New Zealand in 7th heaven there, 5-0.
And off the line by Manicum. It was just that sort of evening for him. And then that shot was well wide. Jack Wetney did all the hard work, just couldn't get that rollover to fall for him. And then it was a chance for James Vaughan. Wonderful ball by Osman. Vaughan kept his run going, and the finish was sublime.
Well deserved. Made a great tackle earlier in that sequence, and bombed forward.
And then Osman got a bit of luck. He perhaps deserved it. Talo, no luck there for him. He did all he could to stop the danger, but Kareem Osman happy to take that deflection.
Great step over from Sammy Osafello, and a terrific finish.
And then the Solomon Islands, when the situation appeared at its most hopeless, suddenly came to life. Sammy Osafello, as Paul describes, lashing the ball home with the left foot.
And check this one out. What a take from Boulay and finish. Love that one, Gordon.
Absolutely. Boulay loved it as well. Happy man.
And Lealafa with the final goal.
So not the greatest of evenings for the Solomon Islands, but they take 3 goals away from this match.
Could be quite crucial in terms of goal difference too, as this group phase pans out, Gordon. But yeah, definitely New Zealand's night. Great night for futsal.
So we can get some post-match comments from New Zealand coach Scott Gilligan, who was with Olivier Hook.
Scott, I guess you are happy after this first result in the tournament?
Oh, superbly happy. What can I say? I mean, what a great game. We were 7-0 up. I mean, we lost our heads a little bit at the end, but luckily we had 7 goals. Fantastic performance by the players, and I think it helps us that we've played a few games against Australia, obviously, because Australia are that much faster than most of the teams that are in Oceania. So for us to be able to get that competitive games under our belt, that's made a difference today.
In this kind of tournament, the first match is crucial to be in the top 4.
Yeah, well, we always said, I mean, the lead up since I took control of this team has always been about this game. All the games before has always been about experimentation, getting it right for this one. Because we know that obviously whoever wins this game really is going to be the Oceania team that goes through from this group. Because we feel that Malaysia is going to be a fairly difficult opposition for the Solomon Islands and for us, don't get me wrong. But we know that Malaysia have drawn with Australia before, so the next game for both of us against Malaysia is going to be difficult. If the Solomons lose to Malaysia, they're out. It's that simple.
And what's next match for you now?
Pardon me?
Malaysia, next match for you?
Well, I think Malaysia's next match, well, much of the same. I mean, we defended well. Again, we have to address the issue of the last minute or so where we copped 3 goals, but I think our attack was quite good. We kept the ball well in patches, and when we turned them around, I don't think we'll have the same space against Malaysia because Malaysia will follow runners better than the Solomons, and that's where they fall down a little bit. But we worked on that for the Solomon game. So, but I think, as I said, defensively, as long as we're tight, we're strong. I think we'll be competitive enough, and who knows.
Scott, thank you and congratulations.
Mate, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Scott Gilligan, a scholar of the game of futsal, assesses his satisfaction with the Futsal Whites. Not so happy with the final minute, but plenty for New Zealand to look forward to in this tournament, and quite rightly pointing out that the match with Malaysia is going to be all important. Dixon Carter.
Dixon, what do you think about this first match against New Zealand? It's quite hard.
It's bit quite hard for us to break the defensive and all the tactical games of New Zealand, and it's hard because when we came here, we don't have a chance to play in the court. We don't even have a chance to warm up in the court. We came yesterday, and we feel the service is new to us, and it's quite difficult for us to keep our game with against the all whites.
Yeah, but on the field, what made the difference?
Well, the difference, the big difference is always they have a pressure game, and they always press us, and they have a little bit tactical game with the target man always. They always pull the boys in, and they are using the long balls to penetrate through. So that's a difference. But I hope we'll do, and next day we'll be doing.
Yeah, next match against New Caledonia, you have to win this match.
Well, it's somehow a build-up game for us, and it gives a challenge.
Thank you, Dixon. Thank you very much.
So Dixon Carto, plenty to think about before the turnaround for match day 2. Solomon Islands against New Caledonia here at Trust Arena at 2 p.m. New Zealand local time. Tahiti taking on the New Zealand Invitational side at 4 p.m. Australia against Vanuatu at 6. And then the big game, Malaysia up against the Futsal Whites at 8 p.m. On behalf of my colleague Paul Tui and myself, Gordon Glenn Watson, I would like to wish you all a very good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow for more OFC Futsal Championship Invitational action.